Springbok Saga is proudly brought to you by Castle Lager, the taste that stood the test of time.
Welcome to the Springbok Saga. In this episode, we look at the year 2001. It was Harry Viljoen's second season in charge of the Springboks, and he had some big ideas, bringing in 3 Australian coaches to help him change the South African pattern. But in the end, Collar, there was no sign of that bright new world.
Certainly not. Harry had really struggled the year before then. 2001 looked almost no different. In fact, it started off with a shock defeat against the Tricolors, and that was in Ellis Park.
Yes, indeed. Collar, France maintaining an unbeaten record at Ellis Park, which is amazing in itself. The Boks actually took quite a heavy defeat in what turned out to be a test match full of quite a few incidents. For instance, young Etienne Finn given a chance at prop, but he was up against a tough man from France called Krenker, who gave him a bit of a hiding on the afternoon. And I think what really stuck in the craw for South African fans is that one of Le Bleu's best players was a South African called Peter de Villiers.
Opportunity for young Neil de Kock and Conrad.
I haven't played South Africa yet. I've played a Barbarian match, but I haven't played a test match. It's the only country I haven't played a test match against. So I think it's a very special moment for me coming back home, and definitely the pressure's on to do well. I'd like to do well back in my home country.
It was early days, but there was no doubting the stress over selections being felt by coach Harry Viljoen.
We can go back to the previous decisions of Joe van Niekerk. I had the whole country on top of me. Then Conrad Yankees, there was actually jokes made about that. Those players did come through. Lucas van Biljon, I was under lots of pressure between Lucas and Dalton. I called for Lucas, So that is part of my calls that I have to make, and the pressure I have to take. At the end, it's my head under the block, and at least, if they get rid of me, that's the decisions I made.
The kick not going quite where intended. Dominici did well. And that is over. Leave this ball quickly. Is that man offside? Chabal, the referee, with his arm out. Penalty, South Africa. And strikes the upright. Now South Africa need to latch on quickly. Barry did. Thump by Manye, penalty. And that is good by Percy Montgomery. Waits for production of the ball. Another replacement on that. No, not another one. That's Elvis Vermeulen.
Terreinbeweging gehad. Dus gaan meer die bal graag naar die punten te wil sien ook vandag.
This time Merceron is on the spot. Erasmus Mulder. Oh, that's a hard tackle. Penalty immediately given. Montgomery is on the spot. Scrum is not moving back at all. Vermeulen to Gaultier, Merceron. And Merceron gets the try.
Om hierdie wedstryd te probeer wen. Maar daar's nog 20 minute oor in hierdie wedstryd. Ons sal nie nou moet verloor nie.
They need to concentrate. Well, there were 4 Frenchmen there. Either that ball was done, it's a penalty to France. Jérôme Merceron does it again for France. They don't throw away chances of kicking penalties. James for Mulder rather. And that is over. Montgomery is there. Can he create something? He needs to. Well, he's in trouble now. He needs to release. Penalty, France. That could be the ball game. Merceron gets the ball through the uprights when they lost in Lyon back in 1997. But look at the jubilation amongst those French players.
Yeah, very, very delighted. I mean, we were the underdogs by far. I mean, just proof again that rugby is a simple game and anything can happen. Lots of mistakes, still a lot of work to do, but very, very happy.
Very important to win. It gives you a much better foundation, makes it easier for you, but it is a setback. But life is about setbacks, and it's how you stand up. But it is a setback.
Well, Dan, it turned into a nasty result for the Springboks, but interesting in that it was the debut of the young Italian Butch James.
Yeah, well picked up, Kola. That was the first time he played in the green and gold, but of course it would go sour in the next test against the French in Durban. The Boks saved face by getting a win, but Butch was cited and suspended for a high tackle, something which he took a long time to get out of his makeup.
The last time these two teams met here at Kings Park, that unforgettable clash, World Cup 1995. But stuck in our minds today is obviously last week's dismal performance by South Africa. What went wrong last weekend?
You know, Joel, I've been talking about a lot this week, and I think to me what happened was that I think it's happened to you, even some of your coaching that you did overseas. You know, you decide you want to do something new, and you put it into practice. The guys I saw when I was down in Pletten watching them got very excited. It looked very good. I'm sure they went out on the field and the first thing in their mind was to try that new stuff. And they forgot about the basics. And as Harry's been saying, they wanted to add the 20% onto the 80%. And I think they tried to play the 20% and forgot about the 80%.
We are happy about the match of the first row and the pack in generally. Very strong in scrum and very good in line-out, but we know the second test will be different.
Peter, lastly, there's been a bit of talk that you guys seem to know us so well on the weekend that you've had a bit of South African help. Is that true?
I did understand a couple of line-out calls, I must admit, and they also tried to confuse me by calling false scores. But hopefully it will happen again this weekend.
I don't want to go into too much analysis, but we must first win the ball. I think the rest will happen. We've worked a lot on phase options, creating options for the ball carrier once the game has gone into phases where we lacked it in the past. And that's what I said. We didn't really have those phases going, and that was the disappointing part.
The performance on the weekend, you couldn't see any signs of what we were trying to do. I think some of that had to do with the fact that we're really battling with our first phase position, and you can't do much, without that sort of ball, without front foot and good ball, and we didn't have any of that. So it was really tough to try and establish what we've been training for the last few weeks.
Westhuizen right in amongst his forwards. Good charge forwards here by Oli LaRue. Taken on by Willie Meyer, not too far. So College's 12th Springbok has struck it well straight through the middle. He's a big man, is Josian Galtier, Jean-Jean.
Get away, let go, South Africa. In the side.
And that is going to be a penalty to France. This for his 30th point in the series. He struck that well. He picked up the tee immediately and just nonchalantly tossed it to the helper. Good work. Galtier, Messeron.
It's reckless play. You can't see the ball, but it's the third player who's been involved in reckless play. He's gone enough the ball's come, and you have to take 10 minutes to
James is a little opening here. Finds Barry. Can he find Van der Westhuizen? Does. Fleck is rushing around trying to find some open space. Corsa tackled without the ball. The kick is taken. No problem for Butch James.
Let go.
Merceron, his kicking has been extremely good in the two tests, and the flags are up again. And the French have had time now to regroup. Van der Westhuizen just calling for people to get in position. Fleck, wide, Delport, yes, Bricher! There's no advantage.
It's not 10, get away.
Gerald Merceron, perfect view of the kick. It's over to David Burry. Yellow card's going to come out again, and this is actually getting a bit ridiculous. Galtier, Merceron back for the drop, and it's over. Could be a penalty if there's no advantage to South Africa. Montgomery. Butch James' kick is good. There's 1 point in it. Dean Hall is there. Van der Westhuizen. South Africa need to produce something. Number 13 is there. Andrews feeds it for Delport, who's lost it forward. And how's that going to go? The flags go up.
Franse probeer bring op elke bal wat ons ingooi te kan teenwerk.
Now is that going over? Yes, say the touch judges, and well, it's not over yet, but as it happened, as we always say, a win is a win, and
we certainly made our fair share of mistakes. We got down in their half and gave away stupid penalties at vital stages of the game, and that really hurt us today. So that's something that we have to look at now if we want to move forward in the season.
Well, Dan, the relief evident for all to see after that second test against the French. But on to face Italy. That was in Port Elizabeth. It was an easy test match in the scheme of things, but a lot more seemed to have happened off the field rather than on, especially when it comes to the captaincy issue.
Absolutely, big ructions ahead of the test match. Harry Viljoen decided that he would like Bob Skinstad to captain the side, making Bob Skinstad our 50th Springbok captain on the grounds that he felt that Andre Vos couldn't command a place in the side as number 8.
I didn't think it was a very good decision.
If I want to stay in this team, I need to change my role, I need to adapt.
I'm looking for a different dimension at number 8.
Andre Markgraaff was involved in the team, and he had a faction who was backing one guy. And I mean, the politics that's followed my career has been absolutely astounding, and I wish they just let me get on and play rugby. But I was picked, under duress. I actually asked Harry a couple of times, was it the right thing? There were other players who certainly had a lot of intent in their eyes when Harry said that Andre wasn't going to be the captain anymore. Corné wanted the captaincy, Rassie wanted the captaincy. There were lots of individuals who were in the running, but Harry felt that I was the right guy for the job.
I mean, he's certain of his position at number 8. He's the dimension I want really at number 8. And right now I felt that he was the only choice, and he's got the potential and the abilities to lead us through to 2003.
Obviously it's very sudden, and it's difficult because Andre and I get on very, very well, and he's one of the guys certainly in the squad that's always been indifferent to where or who Bob Skinstad comes from or is, and has taken me as a player, and he's a very good friend of mine.
I suppose at the time, you're asked to lead your country and lead them out of the trenches. You can't go back on the guys who you're working with. And I decided to go for it, and I really enjoyed it.
Like the coach said, it's a new opportunity for me now. I just have to focus on what happens out in the field, in the forward lines. Just do my job and try and work myself a place back in the side, open side. And actually, as it turned out, it was a fantastic year for me. Very fortunate. I think I wasn't supposed to be picked in the team, and you spoke about the loose forwards at that time, and Corné was due to start at open side in the next match. He picked up an injury. That's how it works, and the opportunity was presented to me, and when you get an opportunity like that, you grab with both hands. And I like to think that's what I did.
Life is about new challenges, and at the end, I have to make the decisions, and I take responsibility for it. No one else.
Here they come, led out by Bobby Skinstad, who becomes the 50th captain of the Springboks in their history.
Neil de Kock takes quickly. Robbie Fleck. Skinstad was running at a good angle. Great tackle there from Persico. Must be a try here. Mark Andrews gets number 11. It was almost away. Now they could move this ball wide quickly. Montgomery does it to Leroux. Skinstad, lovely handoff. Brayton Paulson, there could be I was going to say there could be gymnastics here, but decided to take it to ground. Force. Well, another good run here by Van Biljon. We certainly made an impact. Brayton Paulson inside. Andre Venter will go all the way. De Kock on the short side. Good hands to Andrews. Paulson. Telport. Over. De Kock. Montgomery, there's space on the outside here. Skinstad, Fleck, Bit of space for Robbie Fleck. Can he find Brayton Paulser? Yes, he can. Don stepping over. Also a big moment for Victor Matfield as he wins his first cap for South Africa. It was a great roar for Dion Kaiser, but there's the man from Petersburg. Big scrum by the South Africans. Chong Con under pressure from Fenta, who's had an outstanding game at tight head flank. Oh, and as they'll try, South Africa have turned it over. Leroux, wide now. Fleck bursts through the gap. Little switch there to Andre Fenta. Back to Van der Westhuizen. Junches, Fleck. Paulser waiting for Montgomery. Montgomery is over! Ollie Leroux goes, eludes him, picked up by Matsuriol. Now it goes wide again as Just van der Westhuizen just continues his most amazing try-scoring record. And, well, one must just say that 7-try blitz in the second half blew the Italians away.
Firstly, congratulations on the first win under your captaincy.
Thanks very much, Joel. I was really chuffed with the way the guys stuck to it and eventually got to put some points on the board.
It was always going to be difficult in the first half, virtually a new team, but the second half looked great.
No, it was. You know, I think Italy proved, like they did in the Five Nations, that they don't walk overs anymore. They've put in a lot of hard work, and you'd see their mauling and their rucking and that kind of thing was of top class. And I was just chuffed that we managed to stem the tide for a while and did a bit of our own.
So Dan, time for Tri Nations yet again. Never bound to be easy. This time the Boks started at home at Newlands, and interestingly, a lot of people do consider it the wettest place in South Africa.
Yeah, and we always say we should never let the All Blacks play at Newlands because the conditions suit them so well. Wet test match, Boks struggled along, but I think the difference was that Butch James, Percy Montgomery struggled with their goal kicks, and a fly-half called Tony Brown was more successful than us. Also, the first Tri-Nations test match not to produce a try. Even though bad weather was building, the Springboks chose to go into the test without ace goal kicker Bram van Straten, and even the international media were picking up on the pressure building up on Harry Viljoen.
Springbok coach Harry Viljoen tried a few things in that first test of the season against France. Unfortunately for him, they didn't come off, and since then he's been under all sorts of pressure to get South Africa back on the winning track. Or as one headline said, there were more highlights in his hair than in the test.
Coaching a South African team is always very difficult. As a New Zealand team, you have to win, but you also have to keep your process in mind, to focus on the future. So it's very difficult, but that's part of the challenge, to keep that fine balance. We've been a little bit unsettled. We had a few setbacks, which I think is a little bit unnormal, but I don't think it will be a real indication. We're in the beginning of our process. They were there a year ago, which they, took them also a while to get there. I must do what I believe is the future, and I'll rather go under with my vision than afterwards say I should have done this, I should have done that. So I'm going to stick to my vision and just see what happens.
Getting the forwards going, has it been knocked on? Concentration, good swing through, it's over! Ultimately Somerville pushed backwards, and it's a penalty to the All Blacks. The 700 of Andrew Mertens, but it's a good kick, and that is over. Beautifully taken by Matfield. Van der Westhuizen, James. It's a tester now. It's an angle. Looks like the wind slightly into him. Has he got the distance? Well, neither direction nor distance. And that's wide, just overcompensating a little bit. South Africa need to be careful about penalties here. Randall, terrific tackle by Fenta. Marshall, good build-up. Kempson was there, offside by South Africa. And that's no problem for the man who kicks extremely well at short distances. And the referee waiting for advantage to the All Blacks. It'll be a penalty if they don't turn it to advantage. Brown to stretch the score. Over. Works it back. The referee waiting for advantage. Marshall wide. Butch James went hurtling in. Penalty. All Blacks. Tony Brown with his 4th penalty. That's the end of the game. As the rain pours down, Anton Oliver will be very, very happy.
Look, it wasn't going to be a spectacle after all the rain we've had all week, but still exciting stuff. And that's, you know, that's, if I could say, you know, a real test match, you know, that was, I don't think, no tries. So it's just all about pressure and defence and territory. And it's Test match rugby, you know, epitomised it. I just can't believe that, you know, people write off the Springboks. They're a magnificent team and they've got a lot of heritage and they believe in the jersey and what they're playing for, and you can just never write them off. And, you know, we certainly as All Blacks have the most tremendous respect for them.
Every time you lose in this jersey, it's a tragedy. I think, you know, the guys obviously feel down, but at the same time, we've got a tournament to win, so we're going to take it one game at a time. I must say they're very, very tough to the tight phases. To get up there against the All Blacks, I don't think we lost a line out, and we got a couple of theirs.
But kicking a key factor.
Yeah, I think so. You know, absolutely no problem with Monty. I mean, it's very difficult underfoot. The 3 kicks that Tony had, or 3 of the 4, were much easier. And Monty was kicking from the halfway line. It's a long way.
Another disappointment then against the All Blacks, but on to Loftus, which had proven to be a happy hunting ground for the Boks against the Wallabies, Dan.
Yeah, and it set that pattern, you know, that the Wallabies really struggled to win in South Africa, and we, to a lesser extent, struggled to win in Australia. For me, I think the most significant thing of the Test match was, apart from the fact that we got a win, it marked the debut of a young fullback called Conrad Jantjes.
Certainly enough to lift the Boks, and they were certainly needed on the road, Dan, because the second Test match against the Wallabies was in Perth, and one thing we'd never seen between the two sides was a draw.
And then we did see quite a significant draw. It was the first draw between Australia and South Africa in the whole history that they have, the first draw in the Tri-Nations. And the Boks produced a very good performance, Tola, and I think it helped Harry Viljoen at the time, because he was able to say that the Springboks had been unbeaten against the Wallabies, who in that year were the best team in the world. Harry Viljoen came under fire for his appointment of Wallaby assistant coach Tim Lane as soon as the Springboks touched down in Australia earlier today.
Shame.
Aussie journalists suggested to Viljoen that it was below the belt for one country to take on the former coach of another.
Points, good afternoon here in Perth at the Subiaco Oval. Victor Matfield playing in his 3rd Test match today, and a big day for him, Hannes. Andre Venter will be playing his 61st Test match today. He's one of the Wallabies' danger men, as is Larkham. James, Butch James did well there, he did very nearly, and so did Dean Hall. Referee waiting for advantage. That's a much better kick by Burke. That is banged through the middle. Lovely little dab that by Brayton Paulser. Burke, and yes, they were obstructing Brayton Paulser. Van Straten, head down, follow through, concentrate. The score's a level. James. Now there are plenty of South Africans on the outside here. Van der Westhuizen needs to do his man. Now Venter goes. Gets it away to Jantjes. And inside, Mark Andrews! Mark Andrews has got it down! It's Butch James, along with Jantjes, Larkham. The referee saying offside, or advantage gain left, right and centre.
The tackle without the arms, dangerous play. I've already given you a caution for it. Sinman.
Well, Butch James is now out of screen, and whilst you've seen that slow-mo, has been sent to the sin bin for 3rd time tackling without the arms. Gregan again, now Cobain.
Rock, forward!
Advantage, says the referee once again, nearly giving the penalty. Kefu. Again, South Africa hold out. It'll be a penalty to Australia.
Go, you individually.
Well, Bobby Skinstad now is sent off to the sin bin. This Matthew Burke surely can't miss. And it doesn't, as they give chase on Bram van Straten's kick.
Taking the man out.
And it's a penalty to South Africa. Bram van Straten comes in and puts 3 points on the board for a desperate defence. Can they last in this defence as they get it wide? Gray over. Africa, they need to clear the ball quickly. Smith is there. James waits to receive. Slow approach by Van Straten. That slap through the middle. With it, Kefu looking for space in the middle. Great tackle there by, well, advantage now. It was a great tackle by Oli Leroux. He goes forward and scores a level. Well, I suppose one must say that a draw is better than a loss. They came here expecting to win the game, but of course the Wallabies expected to win the game again.
South Africa played manfully, particularly in defence.
Yeah, they did, and they did everything we thought they'd do. They were very tough. I think we certainly let ourselves down today. We didn't play anywhere near as well as we did the week before.
Skinstad, congratulations, an epic game. You've got to be proud of your forwards in particular.
Yeah, I think they did very well. I let them down a bit by getting sin bin, but I thought it was an outstanding performance, and if I just say a big thank you to the South African crowd, I thought they were outstanding.
The breakdown was particularly intense tonight.
It was, yeah. I think it was obviously ref differently to what we're used to, but it's one of those games, it's the way it goes, and we just reach up with a draw away from home.
Do you think rugby followers have underestimated the strength of their Springbok side?
They will, they always will, and we're going to get better and better, and I think my guys were outstanding.
Already the All Blacks had brought the rain with them when they played the Springboks in Cape Town. And again, Eden Park, more rain and I suppose more Auckland Blues for the Boks.
Yeah, they hadn't won at Eden Park since 1937, Philip Nell's famous side. So that record didn't change. I think what we were starting to see, a team under pressure, a coach under pressure, and not a competent performance at all.
Eden Park in Auckland, a ground that the Springboks haven't been successful since in a test match since 1937. A ground where the All Blacks have achieved several famous wins over the Boks, particularly in 1956 and 1981. But tonight at stake is the ability to stay in the Tri-Nations Championship. A loss here for either side could spell the end of their aspirations for this season.
And there is 119 kilograms of very rapid meat. Inexperience, this is good for the All Blacks as they move it wide now. Run trip, Bram van Straten is there, great tackle, and Lobu dropped it. A referee with arm out. It'll be a penalty to the All Blacks if they don't score here. Umanga so good at getting the ball away. It was Flavel, now Kelleher. Dean Hall brings him down. Driven on there by Jack. If the All Blacks get this now, it could be trouble for South Africa. They need to watch out for being offside. Kelleher looking on the inside for Alatini. Try! Alatini's first try against South Africa. Andrew Mertens adds the extra to position this for South Africa. That's the All Black 10-meter line at Cribb's feet. Skenstad, Junches, space here for Junches, close down by Cribb. Was that a late tackle? Yes, says the referee. They'll get a penalty if they don't produce the ball, and there it comes. And look at that for a kick. That is superb by Bram van Straten. South Africa giving the All Blacks possession in good positions. Now somebody needs to call. It was Madfield. Was Skinstad offside? He was. See the referee with his arm out. Mertens has got such a good kicking action. South Africa making it easy for the All Blacks to defend at the moment. That ball just slewing away. Now Kelleher. And the flags go up. albeit a little bit high. Van der Westhuizen, Venter, and Victor Matfield is penalised. He struck that well. The flags will go up. Just Van der Westhuizen has to stand back 10 metres before he can go up and get the ball. Not an easy kick this. It's got the distance and it's got the direction. Skinstad, Kelleher, Mertens, Alatini, Lomu. Great tackle by Van Straten. Really was a full-on tackle there. Now it's taken forward by Somerville. And it's a penalty to the All Blacks. Kelleher, Mertens, McDonald. Turnover for Van der Westhuizen. They must, I was going to say they must move the ball wide. And curling in. It's a good kick. Driven forward by Carl Hoft. Mertens, he's just really sorting things out. Mertens on the outside, could be a penalty try, and is. Lucas van Biljon tackled the man without the ball.
Get up! Hy vorige afskop was ook baie moeilik geweest. Dis nie dinge wil net nie vlot verloop in hierdie scrums nie.
And that's another good-looking kick. Chance here for Van Straten, the men on the outside. But Snyman was quickly wrapped up there. And penalty to South Africa. Oh, it's another good strike by Van Straten. Disappointment for South Africa. It never really went their way. All that kept him in the game were the 5 penalties by Bram van Straten.
Hopefully the folks back home realised that we were giving absolutely everything. But disappointed we couldn't get on and disappointed we couldn't win.
Oh, look, I'm just so chuffed with the way the guys played with a lot of heart and represented their country with a lot of pride tonight, you know. Managed to keep the Wolves at bay for another week.
Well, that was the Tri-Nations down the drain then, unfortunately, yet again for the Springboks. But it was on to Stade de France for the end-of-year tour, and the first time that the Springboks took on the French at Stade de France.
Paris and the Stade de France would come to have a cherished place in Springbok history, but in 2001, the city and the stadium proved to be less than hospitable.
If you had a wish list for being away for these 4 test matches, what would it be?
I would really like, we have to start well, we have to beat France, you know, and play better, take our process further against Italy, and then play well against England. I think if we can play well, and I can see what we're trying to achieve coming through against England, I believe we will win there, you know, but I really want to see the things we're working on coming through, and if we can achieve that, I'll be very, very happy.
French laws in regard to liquor advertising resulted in a once-off Springbok jersey, a toast to a man whose beer stood the test of time, Charles.
Yeah, well, we don't really need to go into exactly why, but Charles de Gaulle, yeah. But Charles is a fairly famous person in South Africa, so we know what it means. So we're actually pretty excited. It's the first jersey of its kind that's been worn in a rugby test match, and we're very honoured to get out there with it. Yeah, at the moment it's a 3-match series, and it's squared up at the moment. You know, one game each, so it certainly must be viewed as a final of the series. We don't look at it as payback in essence. I think it's certainly a game that we want to win though.
Gilles hasn't found touch. That's twice now that the French have failed to find touch as Skinstad tries to keep it alive, but it's turnover ball. It's a good strike. And he's got it. South Africa with the first points on the board. Very important scrum for South Africa. And they've given away another penalty. First chance to put points on the board for France, and it's gone straight through the middle. Now, have the Springboks stolen it? It's going to be a penalty, another penalty. Oh, a lovely strike from Gilles, and it's straight through the middle. Galtier finally gets hold of the ball. You get the perfect view there. He's drawn it in perfectly, and that's 3 out of 3 for Gilles. France lead 9-3. Van der Westhuizen, another little pop-up pass, this time to Skinstad. There's a huge overlap there. Can they get it out there? It's Sneeman with the pass, and they've scored. It's Peter Rousseau. Peter Rousseau gets the first try of the match, and the Springboks are back in the game. The conversion from Van Straten is good, and South Africa hit the front. LaRue. Van der Westhuizen to Van Straten. And a blocking manoeuvre there. 55 metres. Oh, he's drilled it. He's absolutely drilled it. Galtier with the pop-up to Ibanez. French playing like men possessed at the moment. And a penalty goes the way of the Blues. It's a good strike from Gelez. Crowd love it. Gelez. Galtier. There's danger out wide here. Ibanez. Ibanez going for the line. He's there. Ibanez scores. Well, the Stade de France has not been a lucky ground for France, but it is today because they've beaten South Africa in Paris for the first time since 1992.
And then it was off to Italy for a first ever test in the city of Genoa. The match was played at the Stadio Luigi Ferraris, and the tourists were surprised to discover a great rugby tradition in the land, shaped like a boot. Known as the Marassi, the stadium was rebuilt for the 1990 Football World Cup and is the home to two soccer clubs, Genoa and Sampdoria. In spite of the loss to France, travelling South African fans were in high spirits and looking forward to celebrating a victory over Italy.
Alhoewel verlede week 'n teleurstelling was, ek dink die Springbok behoort vandag te wen.
Gives it on to Moscardi. Now the maul is allowed to continue, and this is trouble for South Africa. Just 10 metres out. Kekinato lost it forward. And he's got it. Italy lead. Advantage being played to Italy. And there's a South African in the wrong place. Dominguez. It's another lovely strike. No problem at all, and Italy lead by 9 points to 0. Right in front of the post now. Here goes Joos Van der Westhuizen. Van der Westhuizen with a wonderful try. Extends his try-scoring record for South Africa. Van der Westhuizen with the long pass to Kun. Kun with another one as well. And that's a chance for Skinstad to get away. Dean Hall! Dean Hall gets his first test try. Van der Westhuizen. Kun. Oh, there's an overlap here. Skinstad. Smit, he's got two men outside him. Trevor Halstead gets his first try for South Africa in his second game. De Kock, Van Niekerk, so strong. Just 5 metres out, De Kock with the dive pass. And they're over. Fourth try for South Africa. Troncon, oh, they've knocked it on. And away comes South Africa. Van Niekerk with the pass. This is Jantjes. Lovely step on the inside. And he releases Skinstad over the halfway line. Brilliant stuff. This is going to be a try. Van Niekerk to Matfield. And Matfield gets it under the post. That's a wonderful try by the Springboks. Taken quickly by Matfield. Giving it on to Andre Venter. This is Van Biljon. Little pop-up pass for Matfield. Matfield on the inside, Villimer! Villimer's over the line. Has he got it down? Yes, he has. Early hoist of Matfield. Bernati takes it. Good hands from Troncon. Dominguez takes it up. Look at this. Diego Dominguez. Wonderful try. AJ Venter. Pick up and drive on by Skinstad. Down the line it goes to Kun. This is Halstead. Halstead. He's very close indeed. Can he get over? He's got the try. Trevor Halstead's got his second try for the Springboks. De Kock, Kun, Halstead. Halstead, is he looking for a hat-trick here? On the inside, Skinstad. Skinstad's got the try. So all of the young players who got given a chance by South Africa played their part today, and we might see the start of some careers here today, particularly the likes of Joe van Niekerk. We look forward to bringing you next week's huge test match from Twickenham against England. The Springboks are back.
The Boks enjoyed themselves on Saturday evening, but on Sunday it was back on tour, off to the airport and over the Alps, emulating Hannibal, although the Springboks didn't bring elephants with them. Next stop, London and the Royal Garden Hotel. They had a light swim on Sunday evening, and then it was back to the office on Monday morning, and we're talking to you from the office. This is near Osterley, also near Sky, who are going to be, of course, bringing you the pictures for our game on Saturday. And joining me in that game, Naas Botha. Naas, welcome to sunny England.
Thank you, Andy. It is so nice and warm out here. I can tell you that this must be by far one of the better places I've ever visited.
But I suppose the $64,000 question, Naas, is whatever team runs out, can it beat England?
That's the question that I think we would all like to have an answer, but unfortunately, Andy, it's going to be a very hard game. I would still say that the slight home field advantage will play for England.
We can still improve a lot. If we want to compete on Saturday, we have to improve 80%. But certainly the win, we need every win we can. It's it's good for our process, it buys time for us. But the guys do not need motivation for Saturday. That I can tell you. This morning, they were all up early, having breakfast sooner or earlier than ever before. And on the training ground, you can see that. Everybody's upstepped their levels.
I think they're falling behind England. I think they've been falling behind England for some time. I think recent results prove that. It's probably will tempt fate, which probably means that the Boks will win on Saturday. The problem with England is that at the moment they're on a run of one defeat out of 13, but they still haven't really won anything.
Twickenham, one of the great cathedrals of rugby. It's hard to believe that in the 19th century this was a cabbage patch. It is an undeniably impressive stadium, and this is the venue for the third match of the Springbok tour against the English.
Although there were reservations about the form of the Springboks, Bob Skinstad's men received the usual enthusiastic welcome from the masses of fans and expatriates who flocked to Twickenham.
2-3 pond betaal. Ou te sê ons liedjie goed nie, ons liedjie regtig so supporters nie. Lyk ons soos volwaardige supporters van die Springbok.
South Africa have made two changes to the side that beat Italy 54-26 as we watch Bob Skinstad run out for his 8th game as Springbok captain, and a royal reception for him from the fireworks. Bracken again trying to make the ball available. It's a penalty this time to England. Rugby going into this game, and that is going to be 3 more. Ewist really should have used his seniority there. Picked up by Worsley off the back. Big tackle coming in from Kun, and a penalty to the Springboks. Van Straten knocks it through the middle, and the Springboks are level. Been wrapped up. Springboks might have stolen this one. And it's a penalty against England for trying to get it back. Plenty of extra time to be played. It's not his best strike, but he's got it. Being played to England as Bracken rips it away. Tries to go down the middle himself. They'll come back for that penalty. Wilkinson getting under the ball. Has he got the direction? Yes, he has. Bracken with the feed. They've gone down. It's a penalty against South Africa. Oh, it's a lovely strike. Wilkinson is on song with the boot today. Worsley's made a mess at the back, but it's a penalty against South Africa. Hardly a breath of wind. The crowd will tell you. Oh, it's off the post and over. Bracken, Cat, looking at the drop goal. Good strike. It's there. To look very, very difficult for the Springboks to come back from. Let's see if they can put some points on the board quickly as we head into the final quarter of this match. Losing the second half 9-0 at the moment. It's a lovely strike from Van Straten, taken by Conrad Jantjes. Jantjes flying into the foe over the halfway line. He's tackled backwards. That's wonderful work by England. They'll win the put into the scrum. In fact, they've won a penalty. It's another lovely strike, and he's got it. Springboks come flying in. It's still there for England. Bracken tackled, penalty. But he doesn't miss this one. It's for the Springboks here. Louis Kun there at scrum half. This is Bob Skinstad. He's thrown it away. Oh, it's going to be a try for Dan Luger at the other end. Nobody is going to catch Dan Luger. Trotting up. Dan Luger scores his 17th try for England. and that puts the seal on the match for the home side.
I don't know. No, it's probably closer than 20 points. Definitely closer than 20 points. But I thought our defence was pretty good. Close one at the end with the video ref, but I thought our defence, proved the difference really.
Disappointed. I think finished it with a kick. Kind of brings it down a bit. But
only 8 out of 10, Johnny. Terrible.
Johnny could be dropped, mate.
Yeah, I know. But just pleased to have got through these 3 games, very tough games, and it takes a lot out of you. And maybe we can just relax for a day or two now.
Less than 24 hours afterwards, the Springboks were on yet another plane, this time to the United States, the 4th city in 4 weeks on tour, Houston, Texas.
Peace out from Houston.
We have a problem. We have a problem.
There are a lot of rugby fans in the States. The difficulty is that when we put a match in Houston, if you live in Seattle or San Diego, New York, Boston, you're now a very long way away from the game. It's an expensive airfare, it's 3 nights in a hotel. It's a little different to, say, the United Kingdom, where you could be in any part of England and potentially take the train to Twickenham for the day.
America may not have been a superpower when it came to rugby, but Houston fans did not miss the opportunity to pay tribute to one of Springbok rugby's all-time greats. And what would a rugby do be without a special can of Castle?
I'm pleased to say that Nas's contribution to USA Rugby is a lot more significant than his contributions to the careers of Raphael Septien or American Gridiron football.
I would really like to see us supporting American rugby. And that's why I was glad to hear that South Africa is going to play America. It's not like we're doing America a favour to turn up and play against the Eagles. I would rather like to see South Africa contribute to getting the game in America at a higher standard.
And on the day of the game, it was all about biltong, boerewors, beer, and massive cowboy hats.
South Africa kick-ass today.
Ag ons is baie opgewonde, is fantasties aangezien ons so min rugby hierso kry. Ons kry dit nie op televisie nie en dis nog meer fantasties dat die in Houston is. Ons baie opgewonde hieroor.
Today, Lawrence Sapaka becomes the first black African to play in the forwards for the Springboks.
It's a great honor to be starting for the Boks. And it's my first day, so I'm looking forward to it.
Andre Snyman and Adrian Jacobs are yet another new centre combination. It's the first time that Jacobs has started a test match.
Dis elke groot seun se droom om vir Suid-Afrika te speel en ek dink dis my kans om die wêreld te bewys.
It's taken down by Lyle and a penalty to the United States. Roughly a good strike. Is it straight away? Cock digging the ball out. This is a chance for the Springboks as the ball goes wide. Oh, and that's going to be a try for Conrad Janches. Didier Manet has awarded it, but is allowed to play it again. Advantage being played, and the referee gives a penalty in front of the posts. Another good strike, and the USA lead by 6 points to 5. Dalzell, and this time a Springbok in the way. That'll be a penalty. Is that going to stay straight? Yes, it is. Out it comes from de Kock. That's Van Biljon. Lucas Van Biljon scores the second try, his first for South Africa in his 9th Test match. De Kock, Jacobs, AJ Venter, Andre Venter. AJ gets it back. Lovely pass from him. This is going to be a try. Out on the wing, it's Andre Vos. And the most selfless piece of play. This is a good chance for South Africa. Oh, lovely hands from Jacobs. A little bit of space for Janches. And this is Peter Rousseau scoring his 21st try for the Springboks. Matfield. Van der Westhuizen. Kun. Oh, Dean Hall. Clean through. Dean Hall gets his try. Taken by Schubert. The rumble towards the line, a try from Mike McDonald. Extraordinary moment. Quickly by Joos van der Westhuizen. And finding Peter Rousseau. Peter Rousseau, wonderful tackle from Kerr. Still a chance. Van der Westhuizen and he gets tackled from behind. Brilliant pick-up by Conrad Janches. Conrad Janches finishes off the game with his second try.
Still, what we've been battling with on this tour is just the final mistakes, the final pass before we score a try. We're still battling with that, making far too many mistakes in the last 5 minutes before the opposition's line, and it was just a shame that started to influence our play a little bit this afternoon as well.
The record in 2001 was not an impressive one. 11 tests played, 5 wins, 5 losses and a draw. But 3 of those wins were against Italy and the United States.
Gaultier, there's danger out.
Victor also had the opportunity. It would have made a big difference to the game. So I don't think the real score was an indication of the game. But unfortunately, the public doesn't measure it that way. Or a lot of rugby gurus, as they call themselves.
Good ball to work with here. Couldn't. Taking it up on the inside is Andre Fenter. Tackled backwards. Wonderful defence from England. And they've stolen the ball. Wilkinson.
I stuck with certain players that I believed on the day would come through. 1 or 2 of them did struggle and put the team under stress. The thing that really gets to us is the malicious things. There's people that they don't want the team to succeed, trying to create problems in the team. So I think those are the aspects that we actually have to handle. That's part of my portfolio. The loss is my responsibility. Then I must take the blame.
Unbeknownst to the team, the backup crew and the media travelling with the team, Harry Viljoen would resign in January 2002 and end his contact with the Springboks, bringing Rudolf Stroili into the frame. There were not many highlights in 2001, but for the record, we play out with some of the incidents and some of the memories.
I'm not angry at the coaches, I'm angry at the people that put them there.
Voordat ek dit ook kon uitvee, was ek op die veld en het meneer Dave McHugh voor my opgedoen.
I enjoyed it. It was everything that I imagined it would be.
This episode of Springbok Saga was brought to you by Castle Lager, the taste that stood the test of time.